Hey folks, welcome back to Black and White. Here in the Pokémon Center in Black City, and we've got an egg hatching. I'm honestly kind of irritated that it was hatching in the Pokémon Center, because I don't like to show the Pokémon Center. But this right here is Larvesta. Larvesta is the pre-evolutionary form of Volcarona, and if you feel like leveling it up a lot, then go for it. Let's just show off some stats here. I mean, it is level 1, it's not that impressive, but Bugfire, it's cool. If you could get this, like, early in the game, and then if you persevere and stick with it for the entire game, it'll finally evolve, that would be cool. Like, an Uber Magikarp. But, no, not the case. Anyway, here in Black City is a location exclusive to Pokemon Black. You'll see the contrast once we switch to white, but basically Black City is an industrial area with a variety of trainers, and depending on which trainers are present in the city, you will be able to buy different items for different prices. Most of them are, like, collector's items, but, yeah. See Waterstone, Big Mushroom. Cool things, not vital to the game. Anywho, Black City and its counterpart in white... Oh, rotation battle, by the way. And its counterpart in white will change the presence of trainers depending on a variety of factors. There's this point system for every NPC in the town that can leave. If a day passes, it loses some points. If you enter a new area, you gain some points. If you fight a trainer, you'll gain a lot more points. And depending on how much each NPC has, it will stay in the town or not. It's a weird system, but basically, get here quickly and fight a lot of dudes, and you'll be good. If you do run out of dudes, then you can use the Entralink, which I have not shown off and never will, to get some dudes from a corresponding white version. Anyway, here we have a rotation battle, showing it because it's a rotation battle, and rotation battles are really cool. And he's using some pretty buff Pokemon. Beartic, I guess is cool, he's a cool beard. But Excadrill and Heatmore are worthy of being intimidating. And again, they're high level, so don't underestimate them. And I don't want to, like, go back to the whole they're not using rotation battles enough, but they're not using rotation battles enough. Triple battles, rotation battles, and double battles just really are not used very much in this game, kind of like double battles when they were first introduced in 3rd gen games. It's like they weren't really sure if they wanted to use them very much, and I think that's unfortunate. I wish they would branch out, diversify a little more. I mean, Colosseum was kind of a little too far in the other direction, being completely double battles, but, you know, diversity is nice. Anyway, Berlanga's kind of doing everything here. Yeah, it's not the most thrilling of rotation battles, since it's just kind of one Pokemon doing its thing. But, you know, it's alright. And I do love the mind games that you can play with these, with rotation battles. Like, it's like showing your poker hand or something, and playing mind games, which really only works in TV shows, but it's cool anyway. You know, you don't want to psych yourself out, and I really feel like rotation battles is the, you know, a human versus human rotation battle could be really cool. I do hope they pursue them in the future. Anyway, at this point, it probably would have been better to heal Berlanga, but I was like, no, I can do this. I want to do it all in one go, because I'm a boss like that. Anywho, these two, there's two rotation battles in here. These two rotation battlers are always present in this building here, whereas the other trainers in the town can leave. And this town is more or less optional. It's not a great place for experience, but it's still a good place. Anyway, I like this guy, Greed. Yeah, once you defeat 10 trainers, he will give you a special prize. I don't remember what it is. It's probably not worth it. But you'll recall a long time ago, I think, way back in the name of the town that I forget that has the flying gym leader, the Skyla's town, where Black had greenhouses and White just had fields. And I was like, you could make a point that Black is more technologically developed. And then that came into play with Opelucid City, where Black had a very modernized Opelucid, and White had a non-modernized. And that is once again the case here. You have a Black City, and then, as you will see, White Forest, which is pretty much completely non-habitated. There's a couple, like, houses, but it's a bunch of trees, and it's like, I wonder what that's about. I mean, there's a very clear nature versus technology thing going on here that's just kind of left undeveloped. It's there, but they don't say anything about it like they do with the truth and ideals business. Okay, thank goodness. It's a little morbid, but I was kind of hoping that Berlanga would go down so that the music would stop like that. Anyway, remember, Crocodile are annoying. They're annoying. I don't like them. I mean, I like them, but I don't like them. They're dangerous, so don't underestimate them. I say that every time we run into one, and I will say it for all of those that we run into in the future. I don't know if we discussed Galvantula there. Galvantula is the evolution of that electric spider that you can find in Chargestone Cave that I don't remember the name of. And if you're looking for an electric type that isn't Emolga, I would recommend it because it's a freaking electric spider and that's awesome. And also its pre-evolution is pretty adorable. See, that's what I love about rotation battles. You can play mind games, and I just sent out an electric type against a ground type. Isn't that awesome? I don't care if it's unhelpful to me. I think it's a cool gameplay thing. Anywho, I needed to bring someone in who was actually good against Galvantula, since Lilo couldn't really do much, Manfred really couldn't do much. Cindy is the way to go, once Crocodile's out of the way. And Crocodile is indeed out of the way. So now I can bring Cindy in for the torching of dudes. God, I love Flamethrower. Did I mention that I love Flamethrower? Because Flamethrower is awesome. I now have a really good special fire move that will not miss. I don't have to be worried about Fire Blast missing and then something horrible happening. Anywho, I highly recommend that you do those two battles because they're rotation battles and there are not enough of those. Anyway, you can go around from building to building here, talking to people. Honestly, there isn't a ton to see. The more people live here, I think the architecture changes a bit, and there are some more NPCs that you can talk to. But, it's a bunch of flavor stuff, so not really what I'm interested in showing off. Anywho, on the flip side, we have White Forest. And White Forest acts in the same way as Black City, in that it has trainers visiting based on the same point system that the city does. But unlike buildings and things like vendors and items to buy, the presence of trainers will change which wild Pokemon you can find in the grass and water here. And most of them, as you might expect, are Pokemon from previous generations. Now this guy, he will ask you to find a specific Pokemon that is in the area at the time. Oh, we already know that they're living, whatever. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to go find that Lotad. I believe it only appears in water, which I found out after some experimentation. And it may only be by surfing, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you'll find a variety of Pokemon here. Most of them are, I believe, first evolution Pokemon, and all low level, so be prepared to not kill them. New Lotad there. I mentioned Ludicolo in the last episode being hella awesome, and Lotad is the first stage of that evolutionary line. Next time I'm playing through a 3rd gen game, gonna use it. Gonna use it. Don't know when that'll be, but I'm gonna use it. Anywho, if you bring the Pokemon that you request to him, you will get a special prize. A berry of various sorts. I believe that it is a random berry, so could be common, hopefully could be rare. Pecha Berry isn't the most useful. And that more or less takes care of White Forest. Not as much to show off, I guess, or maybe just because I didn't do the rotation battles. Anyway, now that we can head over to the west, we are on the last route before we get back to where we started. Although, different city, but the middle of Unova is the point. There are 2 basic routes through this route. There's the south route where you fight trainers and wild Pokemon. And there's the top route where there's a cool building and maybe also some trainers, I'm not sure. I don't recall. As you can see, there's a bit of strength puzzling to be done. Oh, and since I've never actually properly shown this off, 99.9% of the time, not that actual statistic, probably closer to 95%, when you go into shaking grass, which is the grass equivalent of those, like, rippling areas in water or shadows on bridges, you will run into an Audino, I don't know. But basically Audino is a really good source of experience. It's your go-to man for killing and getting a lot of experience. It gives, I don't know, like 4 times as much experience as an equivalent Pokemon of that level would normally give. It's worth pursuing. I would recommend it. Now, personally, I really like Audino. I honestly would have soloed with it if it was available before the first gym, regardless of it actually probably being easier than a Lilo run. But, I like it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, strength puzzling to be done. I didn't bring anybody with strength. I think it only leads to some miscellaneous items or something. Speaking of miscellaneous items, I didn't even need the dowsing machine for that. Sneaking past that person like a ninja. And then we have first a truck and also a building after this. This is a trading person. And I'm just amazed that she randomly has a Rotom of all things. Rotom was something special. It's like a special ghost with a special connection to a special NPC. But now it's just something. Anyway, this here is the Poke Transfer Lab. This is the equivalent of the PAL Park from the 4th generation, although it's a little less cool. Also, I don't know what's up with this music. Fantastico! So basically, the Poke Transfer Lab is a place where you can transfer Pokemon from your 4th generation games to your 5th generation games. Like the PAL Park, there are some limitations. Different limitations, but still limitations. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, that you can't bring items. They won't let Pokemon holding items into the Poke Transfer, and I assume there's some sort of compatibility issue with how it was programmed or something, but I don't really know. But regardless, this is one of the ways to get Pokemon over. There are a few special ways for special Pokemon that I will not be showing off. They're kind of silly, to be honest. Like, one involves transferring the shiny legendary beast that you got from an event through a special item, not through the Poke Transfer, in order to activate another event. I won't be showing off because it's silly and for various other reasons, but that takes care of Route 15, and now we are heading off to a special bridge, Marvelous Bridge. It's a bridge, and it's marvelous. Well, that was a little weird. The whole ghost girl thing, it doesn't always happen. You have to, it just happens randomly. You enter an exit and enter an exit. Doesn't do anything, it's just a little bit of backstory, I guess. Interesting, strange, I don't know. But yeah, just showing that off. Anyway, this is Marvelous Bridge. It's a bridge, and it's relatively marvelous. And hey, you recognize this girl? Remember this girl from Village Bridge? Or Bridge Village, or whatever it was. If you talk to her there, she'll go off over here, and you can play the Patrat game. Which is essentially that moving cup game where you put a marble under it and shift them around. Can you figure it out? Now, if you fail, you can retry this as many times as you like. And I believe you can succeed at it once a day. And from that, you'll get a big mushroom, which you can use for God knows what, I don't know. Yeah, just a neat little thing. I like the interconnectivity of the areas. Anyway, shadows on the bridge. I don't know if I mentioned these. I know I mentioned them, I don't know if I've demonstrated them. They can either be wild Pokemon or little wings that will give you a small amount of stat boost. And hello! Look who it is. Now, these 3 ninja people will give you 3 orbs that were of significance in the 4th generation games. They are the power-up orbs for Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the Adamant, Lustrous, and Grisius orbs. These are, since you can't transfer items through Poke Transfer, here they are for you in this game. And that takes care of Team Plasma for good. Anyway, on to more important matters. Swanna, hello. You are far more important than the evil organization of doom and death. And they're just showing off what you can find in these shadows, I suppose. Swanas, mostly. Sometimes ducklets. Other birds. I think it's a neat way of getting wild Pokemon onto these kinds of routes. Oh my god. Oh man. If I had an open slot in my party, totally would go for it. Oh my god. See, the thing about that, if you're not aware, he's a reference to a dude in the Mount Moon Pokemon Center in the original games. First generation. But see, the weird thing is, Magikarp is actually rare in this game. You can't get it. There's no old rod, and it doesn't appear on the Super Rod. It's actually... that's the way you get it, unless you transfer from another game. Which I found fascinating. Magikarp is actually valuable. Anyway, that takes care of Eastern Unova. We are now back over here in Nimbasa City. And next episode, we'll take care of a few loose ends, and then it's back for the Elite Four Round 2. And I'll see you guys next time.